everybody. Welcome to the Section 325 podcast.
Second half.
Here we are. We just finished up week 8.
Yeah, week 8.
Week 8, I think one more week. We're halfway through.
We're halfway there. I always say the trade deadline is the halfway mark.
Well, I mean,
given another week or so.
Some teams still have one more game to play to get to 8. We're playing a 17-game season, so I mean, you can't. It's not really cut and dry anymore. No. We're near the halfway point,
we're going into the halfway point. Week 9 now.
It's halfway in halftime of the games on Sunday.
Sure. Yes.
There you go. There we go. Basically, right?
We'll figure out the NFL math, I guess.
Yeah. So what I heard actually coming here to do the podcast is this 17th game, right? That makes it all weird. Mm-hmm. Is now that teams are starting to enjoy going overseas, they're imagining a world of the NFL where each team has 8 games on the road, 8 games at home, but that one extra game is the overseas game.
Oh, so everyone would have one?
Everyone will start having one.
Wow, that's a lot of games overseas.
That is a lot.
Would that include like Mexico?
Mexico, Germany, and England.
England? Okay. Yeah. What about Canada? They have their own league. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, I'm watching a video the other day, and they show a clip of an onside punt.
I did see that.
Did you see that
I did see something like that.
I was like, wait, what is this? So they threw it out. It was a forward pass, but it was still behind the line of scrimmage.
Uh-huh.
So the guy caught it, kicked it. It only has to go a yard past the line of scrimmage, and then he dove on it, and it was their ball again.
I'll have to look that up again. Yeah,
like, that was weird play. Anyway, I've never heard of that.
They have weird rules and everything. I even saw something where the losing team still made like the playoffs because they had to lose by a certain amount of points or something like that. They had to lose by a certain amount of points, and they got like a pick 6 and scored, even though they still lost, but they were still able to advance into the playoffs. It was weird. It was weird.
Well, they still have Canadian bacon and not regular bacon, so that's just a crime shame as it is. Anyway, let's dive into it. What a week, dude, right? For both of us.
It was a fun week overall because Seahawks won, Denver won.
Well, no, and not only did the Seahawks win, okay, we improved to 5-2, but the 49ers lost their 3rd game in a row.
In first place in the West.
First place, second place overall in the division behind the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
So we got home field advantage right now as it sits for the first couple weeks of the season.
Oh, nice.
Or playoffs.
Well, yeah. So,
but the rich just get richer, and the Niners go out and get another defensive stud
in a row. That's all I have to say about the Niners. 3 losses in a row.
Well, and here's what it is it the injuries? Did they just forget how to play everybody else? Because I think about Seattle, we get injuries and we do that, but they always seem to compete. And but what I think it is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Brock Purdy has enough film out there. There's enough tape now to say, okay, how do we stop Brock Purdy? Yeah. And I think the teams are figuring it out.
Yeah.
So that I think that's the real issue. Plus, you lose your left tackle. That's a big deal.
Yep. Oh, and then like you're saying, they picked up a great trade yesterday. Chase Young from the Commanders. I don't know I don't know why the Commanders decided to let him go.
They unloaded their other guy.
Yeah.
Sweat. Yeah, Keith Sweat. I wanna pick you up and down. I don't know if he sings that song, but anyway.
Yeah, so Chase Young from the Commanders got traded to the 49ers for a third round pick.
Which, here's the thing. It's just the best move. The Niners are smart. So if Chase Young works out and they sign him, great. They've got a great player. But let's say he doesn't work out and they let him go to free agency and somebody else signs him. Mm-hmm. They still get their 3rd round pick back because of the compensatory.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's a no-lose situation for them.
Well, it is. So, I mean, they have a great defense to begin with. And right now, like you said, I think Brock Purdy, there's enough video of him, tape of him.
Here's what's going to happen.
He knows everyone knows what his weaknesses are.
It's a catch-22 right now, right? You need a quarterback in this league. Mm-hmm. Look at the Raiders. Even with Garoppolo, he can't hit an open guy down the sideline. We just talked about that.
I can make a throw.
We could have come off the couch literally and hit a wide open stud wide receiver like they have. But the 49ers, they have a solid quarterback in Purdy. I think everybody was like, oh, Purdy's elite already, but I think he's going to have to work a little harder. But when you're not paying your quarterback, you can load up on defense and you can do these things to shut teams down. It doesn't matter. But you still need a good quality guy at quarterback.
Yeah.
Look at the Browns.
Well,
they bring in their backup. I think he's still playing better than a guy you're paying millions and millions of dollars to. But what if you weren't paying those millions of dollars and he was your quarterback? Yeah. How good would your defense be at that time?
Oh, no. Well, and it also reminds me what happened to Kirk Cousins. He gets injured probably at the perfect timing for the Vikings to make a trade deal with Josh Hobbs.
Which that is nuts, isn't it?
It is. I don't think Murray is playing this weekend for Arizona. I don't think
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. He's going to be back, I think, next week for sure. But yeah, that's probably the reason why they just went ahead and did it, because Murray's going to be back. But yeah, Vikings.
Have we ever had a quarterback who has started the first 8 games of the year that got traded? The starting quarterback.
Yeah. Baker in last year. He was the starting quarterback for Panthers. Got benched or injured, I can't remember. But then, then he got traded 2 days later, beat the Raiders on Thursday night.
Yeah, they whooped the Raiders. Well, who isn't these days?
I know.
Who isn't? The Raiders
we could probably get a team together and whoop the Raiders.
The Raiders are in trouble. They keep bringing in... I don't know.
We could go on off.
We could go on, but let's not waste time talking about the Raiders.
But this last weekend of football was just fun to watch. There was a scoregami. I don't know if you know.
No.
Scoregami happened this weekend. The Dallas game, they put up 43 points against the Rams. They only scored 20. So that was a scoregami, 43-20. And then the Jets, New York.
Do you remember when Seattle scored 43 points?
Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah. I think it was Super Bowl 48, I believe.
Yeah, Super Bowl 48. 43 points.
But, and then the New York game, that was very slow going. It was kind of one of those games I had off to the side. I'd like catch in and I'm like, okay, it's still 7-10. Oh, what a boring game. But the last 2 minutes of that New York game was fun to watch. It's like that's the only time to watch that game was the last 2 minutes. And then going into overtime, of course. But yeah, we'll...
How do the Jets have a winning record? How do they have a winning record?
I don't know. And especially on some of the games that they've won. Again, they only won 13-10. Even when the first game of the year, they only won, I think, like 19-16 or something like that. I can't remember.
It's just crazy.
It's just low-scoring winning games is not... It kind of reminds me of the few games that Denver won last year. Very low-scoring games.
Well, let's talk about Denver because they're at home against a Chiefs team that's been riding high. They got the tight end they can't stop talking about with his new girlfriend, which we're not going to go into.
I'm just glad that she wasn't there.
Denver took care of business and took it to the Chiefs. I think Mahomes had 2-3 picks.
He had 2 picks, a fumble. 2 fumbles. No, he had a fumble. Another receiver had a fumble, and we had a muff punt recovered. So we had 5 turnovers.
It amazes me. The guy has one bad game in his whole career. I don't remember him ever playing this bad. And he had the flu.
Yeah.
I mean, is that true? Why is he even playing?
Well, here's my thing about that. If you have the flu, sure, don't whine about it later after you lose. If you have the flu, play if you want to play. But if he's playing poorly, you have a backup for a reason. So they could have done that. But I think they just wanted excuses, maybe, knowing that, hey, Denver's going to take some business.
Well, and what if he gets other guys on the team sick and now you lose 2-3 games in a row because you wanted to play Mahomes, who, whatever. I don't know.
And they're going to London or Germany this weekend.
Oh, no.
So being on a plane with someone that has the flu, how do you feel about that?
Well, I'm sure I have been anyway. Every time I fly, people don't discuss whether they're sick. But you know what?
But no, I'm just happy that Denver finally won a game. It's been too long. It's been 16 games where Kansas City has won. The streak is finally over.
Streak's over.
Actually, we broke a couple streaks. So I think that was the first time in like 20 games or losses that Chiefs have lost more than five points. And so and we kept them under no touchdowns.
And nobody's going to assassinate Russell Wilson this week. So
no.
Actually, he played good.
Kansas City did have a touchdown. Their jet when they landed in Denver.
Oh, nice, nice. Well, that's good. Well, let's dive into. We're doing the top 10.
Yeah, we'll do the power rankings. Just get them over. We had some shifts in the power rankings. Crazy games. Of course, Niners losing. With that being said, I actually have them not in my top 10.
Ooh.
Yeah, someone jumped up into number 10.
Well, let's get after Wolf's power rankings, the top 10, and I'm sure I'm going to disagree along the way.
Yeah, again, you can argue too at home. Please let me know what you think. So yeah, I have the Bills coming in at number 10. They go up probably a spot. I probably had them at 11 or 12.
Yeah, I mean the Bills definitely are a top 10 team. They've had their struggles, but then they've also been dominant. So.
Yeah, and I was debating on putting the Niners at 10, but I looked at this last week. Bills obviously got the win on Thursday night, and then Niners losing. So I think that's what.
Well, let's just put it like this: if the Bills and the Niners squared up right now, I would definitely take the Bills.
Yep, that's kind of how I saw it. So the reason why Bills go up. And then at number 9, Bengals beating the Niners deserve a spot.
Bengals look good in that game.
Well, they had a slow start at the season. Now they're having their hot streak. And it's kind of like the opposite end here with the Niners. So
the Bengals come into the top 10?
Yep, they come in. Seahawks.
Number 8, you dropped them down.
I dropped them 1. Here's the reason why. You can argue. I'm sure you will. At home, I'm sure you will too. They had probably a great first quarter and the last 2 minutes. There was a lot of time in between where I'm like, whoa, is Seattle going to take over here? Because it was a close game throughout the rest of the game. Because I think, weren't you up 14-0?
14-0 and then 17-7.
Yep. So I was, whoa, what's going on here? And again, Geno had a couple picks. He was not looking good in the third quarter, I thought, but luckily they were able to bounce that last 2 minutes and get that winning score. So that's the only reason why I have them drop by, I think, a spot.
Well, they only gave up 6 points in the second half, the Seahawks.
Yeah, the defense
turned into a defensive game, which happens along the way in football games. So I think for you to drop them is irresponsible. And but you know what? Just more fight for us next week as we have to go to Baltimore.
But you only dropped 1 spot. I
know we were 7.
I'm sorry.
Feels disrespectful. But anyway, let's keep moving along. Down.
So Lions jumped up.
Why did the Lions jump up? They beat a crappy Raiders team and just got blown out by the Ravens.
But it was on prime time. It was just enjoyable to watch.
I'm second guessing my pick here on the show of picking Travis.
Hey, I tried out for this show. Manning Cast wouldn't let me. So.
Cowboys, yeah. I mean, the Cowboys look good. The Rams have been pretty pesky all year, I would say. But they dominated the Rams.
Game. Yeah, so
which was awesome to watch.
They jumped up. I think I had them at 9. They jumped all the way up to 6. They're not still my worthy 5.
So top 5. This is the teams. Typically, if you have a top 5, this is the teams that you would say have a shot at the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yep. Jaguars. They don't move. They still had a good week.
They're good, and they made a trade for, was it a corner from Green Bay?
Yes.
Starting corner?
I think so.
I think that's what they did. The Chiefs, yeah. I mean, they lost to the Broncos, but
they dropped, but they stayed in top 5.
Get the flu out of the building, and who knows where the Chiefs could be. They go down. The Ravens, the Ravens are good.
Yeah, I almost had them at 2. They had a good
game,
but then again, it was the Arizona.
They barely beat the Cardinals.
Yeah,
so
gosh. I just kept them.
Cardinals have been in every game. Mm-hmm. They've been in every game.
Yeah, now they're
really going to get blown out without Dobbs. So the Ravens go up 2. Dolphins. They're people are talking about the Dolphins. They only have beaten losing record teams.
Mm-hmm.
The two teams that they played with a winning record, they basically got handled.
Yeah.
The Bills and the Eagles.
Yeah.
They lost to the Bills like 40-something to 20.
And then same thing.
And then they lost 17 to 38 against the Eagles. 31, 38, somewhere in there.
Well, yeah, so obviously the top four Chiefs, they dropped down to 4, and then everyone else pretty much moved up. So I guess in the top 5 didn't really change too much. So yeah, I have the Eagles now. It's kind of almost given that they're number 1. Just having a 1-loss record.
So by picking these guys number 1 and number 2, if we are starting the playoffs, are these your favorites for the NFC and the AFC to go to the Super Bowl?
I was thinking about that. I think next week after we're at the halfway point, I think we might have to put in some playoff picture look.
I think the Ravens are better than the Dolphins.
And then who knows? Bengals, again, they had that slow start, and they're starting to warm up here. So, again, maybe Bengals might hit that top 5. We don't know.
Here's the other part of it. The Jags, the Ravens, the Dolphins, I'm not sure they can beat the Chiefs.
Again.
At home or on the road in the playoffs. That's the thing, right?
That's the thing.
You can have a good season, but can you prove it in the playoffs? So they better hope that Patrick Mahomes has the flu for the playoffs.
Well, yeah, hopefully. And hopefully everyone else in the conference and division can try to take down the Chiefs like the Broncos did.
It is crazy that you can put together a top 10 and not have the 49ers in it. Because at the start of the year, you're like, okay, these guys have something to prove. They lost their quarterback in the playoffs, couldn't finish that game. They came out of the gates just like perfect.
Yeah.
5-0 start.
No interceptions in that time. And then he throws 5 interceptions in the last 3 games. So, again,
teams
this is just
out
right
Brock
now
Purdy,
how they are playing right now. Again, they have a bye this week.
Well, they better hope that this defense starts scoring points for them, because I think teams have figured out Brock Purdy, and it's not pretty.
Yep.
So
I mean, who knows? In 2 weeks when they play again, they might have a great game, and they're back in the top 10.
All right. Well, I don't mind your top 10 list. I don't like the Seahawks being below the Lions, and here's why. Everybody's been doing this to them all year. Head to head, we went into the Lions game and beat them into their stadium. And this is week 2 after them beating the Chiefs on the road to start the whole NFL season off. All the hype and everything. The Seahawks went in and beat the Lions. So for people to keep putting the Lions ahead of the Seahawks is wrong.
I'm sorry.
It's wrong.
I'm sorry. Well,
but you're not the only one doing it.
I know. I want Seahawks offense to play a full game. That's what I want.
The Lions couldn't score in the red zone. They had a few turnovers as well against the Raiders, and they were actually lucky to win that game. If they were playing anybody else besides the pitiful Raiders, they probably would have lost that game at home in prime time.
This is why we're here. We argue.
I'm just watching. I'm watching this. I would say the Bills definitely deserve the Bengals.
Definitely.
We could see those guys over in this top 5 here before too long. But, until the Dolphins, the Ravens, and the Jaguars start faltering, because I don't think the Chiefs are going anywhere.
You know what the one thing I like about this top 10? So 2 teams have a bye this week, the Lions and the Bengals, I believe. They have a bye this week. Everyone else plays against each other.
Well, here's the other thing. You only have 4 NFC teams in the top 10. The rest are AFC.
Yeah. So next week is going to be interesting. The fact that 8 of the teams play against each other this next week.
All right. So, well, here, let's get into our picks, because I don't even remember how I picked.
Really? Okay, then we'll just move on.
Let's see. I'm excited to see. I hope I did well. Falcons and Titans. We both picked the Titans. That was a good pick.
Yeah, it was good. You know what? You guys played in your throwback jerseys. Mm-hmm. So did the Titans, or I should say the Oilers. Don't be biased, but who has the better looking throwback jerseys?
I personally would rather wear royal blue than I would powder blue, but that's just me. But I like the Oilers. I love the oil thing, and you have family from Houston, so they'd always send up the Love You Blue stuff back in the day. And
the Titans look sharp in the throwback this last
weekend. Their throwbacks are better than their current.
Yeah, and I was thinking about this too. If Seattle did their throwbacks with their huge shoulder pads and neck rolls, that would look good.
Yeah.
That would look good.
What happened to those days?
I don't know. The 80s, 90s, big, huge shoulder pads.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah,
So here's this next pick I'm excited about because the Panthers won the game.
First game, they won.
And I had a feeling that they were going to, just because, they had to win for their quarterback, play a little harder. But Texans should have won that game.
Well, do you know how they won the game? Did you see the field goal?
Yeah.
It was like 2 penalties before. So Texans were really trying to not make them make that field goal.
Yeah, it's too bad, but congratulations to the Panthers on their first victory of the year.
So we have every team has now won, so I'm sure there's a circle effect as far as...
I'm so disappointed. Okay, anyway, let's keep moving. Dolphins both picked them. That was pretty obvious they were going to beat the Patriots, and they've owned them for a last. Ravens, the Cardinals gave them fits, let's be honest, but the Ravens are the better team. And then Jets Giants.
You almost had the sweep here.
I almost
did. You know, it's funny that last 2 minutes of the game, so Jets had the ball, they couldn't get it. So the Giants were having the ball again, and all they had to do was get a first down, and they would win the game. I saw Jet fans walking away from the game, like they figured that the game would be over, and sure enough, Giants couldn't get a first down. They had to punt back to the Jets with like 30 seconds left, and they were able to get into field goal range and kick it.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
If Tyrod Taylor doesn't go down, it might be a different ending.
Yeah.
So that's something you can't predict. But congratulations. So now we're even. But we had a pretty dominant week.
Yeah, we needed that.
I needed that sweep. I needed you to lose.
You did.
Darn it. So here we are, 4-1.
We got 4-1.
But we're both making a comeback. You're over 500.
I'm now finally over 500. I needed that.
2 games. I gotta get this on you. Okay, well, here we go.
Click 2 more. So yeah, you're in the red still.
All right. So week 9 picks, random picks from the bag.
Yeah, just click it.
Oh.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, we're just pulling out whatever.
Yeah. So how many do you want to do? We'll do different picks. So you'll have your own different picks. I'll have my own different picks. And so you have the Redskins or the Commanders.
The Commanders. And am I supposed to keep picking?
There you go. So they play the Patriots.
Let me put that back. Oh, they play the Patriots.
Yep. So I have all of them together. So you have the Commanders at Patriots.
Right here.
So who do you have?
Oh, gosh.
This is a difficult one. All right, here's mine.
Well, I got to think that the Commanders have thrown it in. Patriots have nothing to lose anymore. They're at home. I'm going to take the Patriots in this one.
Okay. All right. I got the Giants at the Raiders.
Oh man. Boy. Talk about 4 teams that suck right now that we drew out.
All right. Well, the Raiders, they are just, I don't know what's going on. They just got rid of like basically everyone yesterday and this morning. If you woke up to the news of them firing their GM, head coach, and offensive coordinator, I'm going to go with the Giants on this one. I kind of have to.
Yeah. I mean, both of them suck. All right. Oh.
All right. So what do you got?
I got the Bills
at
the Bengals. Now, finally, a good game. This is a game. Bills at the Bengals. Wow. Okay, so looking at this game, Bengals are red hot.
Mm-hmm.
They're at home. The Bills are up and down. They're in every game with no matter who they're playing.
Mm-hmm.
They're in every game. This is going to be a tight game. This is going to come down to turnovers. And I think the Bengals have been struggling getting turnovers, if I've been hearing right, but
so has the Bills. The Bills haven't really done quite much on defense.
And you know, I've always said when you get to a game that's super tight like this, you got to go with the home team.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take the red hot Bengals over the Bills.
Perfect. I got the Rams playing the Packers. This one's kind of tough too. So at home at Packers lost to the Vikings. The Rams, I don't know what happened to them against Dallas. Rams are kind of one of those back and forth teams. They'll play a good game and then they'll just not show up for the next. I think that's what might happen here. Packers right now, obviously seeing them the last few weeks. I'm going to go with the Rams.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Rams on that one. Sorry, Packer friends and my wife. Sorry, but I'm going with the Rams.
Is Stafford okay? I heard he got hurt. He
hit
his thumb.
I'm not sure yet. Actually, you know what? I'm no. Either way, I'm going with the Rams.
Okay.
I'm going with the Rams. I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, Jordan Love is he the future? He hasn't looked like the future.
He's not. I don't know.
He hasn't looked. I mean, a guy who's not a rookie by any means. He's been in the league for a while, learning this game with one of the best quarterbacks of all time, Aaron Rodgers, and he's not playing good at all.
Nope.
I would take the Rams, even if they have a backup over Love.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm sticking to the Rams. Yeah.
Oh, Vikings! How interesting with the with Dobbs and the Falcons. So both new quarterbacks.
New quarterback.
They benched Ritter today for what's his name?
What is his name?
I like this guy.
Anyway, I can't think of it right now. Heineke, that's right. The Commanders.
So Heineke, I was brought to my attention. He had a really nice Halloween costume with his girlfriend.
Oh, really?
She had headlights right here, and he dressed up as a deer staring at the headlights. Great Halloween costume. So for that alone, I'm taking the Falcons at home over the Vikings.
Yeah, I think if Dobbs does play, it might take him. Which I hear he's pretty quick in learning the playbook. Hopefully he can be as quick as Baker did with the Rams last year. But I agree with that one. I think the Falcons, they have a good team, struggling with their last quarterback. But I always liked Heineke. Again, I don't know why Commanders didn't kept.
I have always liked Heineke. Yeah. Well, their quarterback they have now is very similar to Heineke. Yeah. It's like the same guy. I like Heineke. He's got a little Brett Favre in him.
Yeah. Oh. Well, I got the London game.
Oh, yeah.
Dolphins and Chiefs.
Germany.
Germany game, yes. I've always been liking the Dolphins this year. Tyreek Hill playing against his old team. I think he's going to light it up. He is going to get 150 yards receiving.
Yeah, this is a neutral site,
really. A neutral site. I think Miami might have already been over there since Monday. I don't know when the Chiefs got over there. If they're even there yet. I'm gonna go with Miami on this one.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
Miami and Chiefs, the Germany game. And do we have time for one more? Do one more?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. One more each. I like this because we have different.
Jeez, this is tough.
Again, another top 10 matchup.
Top 10 matchup. Seahawks going into the Ravens. I hate picking against Seahawks.
I'm
going to believe that the Ravens are due for a loss. They've been rolling. I think the Cardinals kind of maybe showed a few little weaknesses.
And Seahawks play well on the road.
Seahawks do play well on the road. I think we're disappointed by our outing in Cincinnati last time.
Mm-hmm.
And
maybe they're watching this podcast and they agree that they need to play a full 4 quarters.
Yeah. So I'm going to pick the Seahawks in this one. I think their defense is playing well, and you need a defense to play on the road. And I think that we've played the Ravens before, and the Ravens came into our house and beat us last time we played. So I think it's time to a little bit of payback.
Perfect. I agree. all these games, the top 10, they're going to be fun. This weekend's going to be fun weekend of football.
Whew,
yeah,
man, talk about it.
Yeah. So
I mean, who's not excited about the Commanders and the Patriots?
I got this one, man. And then my last one, I got the Titans at Steelers. Steelers were in my top 10 last week. They have a great defense. And that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with the Steelers defense on this one.
You don't think Will Levis is going to light it up again?
Again, that was a fun game to watch. Like, who knew that he would go in there and throw 3-4 touchdowns? So, now I still think the Steelers can, at home, I think they're
due for a win. They need a win.
They lost last week, so let's get that back on the board of a winning streak here for the Steelers defense. Yeah.
So okay,
that's
there
picks.
We go.
All different too.
Did you write them down?
I'll write them down.
I'll put the team over so you remember the ones that I picked.
Well, also, I watch our video too.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't watch our episodes, our podcast?
Absolutely. I got to see how good I look. Anyway, so there's our picks for the show. Anyway, pick along. Did we do Thurston's picks? How did he do last week?
I don't know.
Thurston.
Sorry. Thurston.
I counted on Travis for that one. We'll get you caught up.
There's 8 games now that you guys can pick from. You can get a head start on Sean and I if you do all 8.
Here's the good news: is now I can gain some ground easier on you, or lose some ground easier.
Either way. So you can sweep. You need all 4 to get in the winning streak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think.
I like my chances this week.
Yep.
I need to go 4-0, and I need you to go at least 2-4, if not 0-4. So I can take a commanding.
Do we have a bet on overall picks?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Maybe once we get back to even on both of us. Maybe
I'm not coloring my hair blonde again. So
I'm not shaving my head.
Yeah. Anyway, that's our show for today. We're getting into the thick of stuff here in the NFL, so stay tuned and comment, and we'll put you on the show. We'll talk about it. We'll have a little debate, and we love it. So stay tuned. This is Section 325 signing out.
The second half.